Hey warriors, you're sitting alone, maybe late at night, maybe during your commute, and it suddenly hits you. I'm not happy, not in the way I thought I'd be, not in the way I pretended to be. And the scariest part, you can't remember when it started feeling this way. You look around at your life and everything seems fine on paper. You've checked the boxes, you've done what you were supposed to do, but something's missing. Something's been missing for a while now, and you've just been too busy, too distracted, or too afraid to admit it. We all do this. We bury the hard questions under work deadlines and family obligations and weekend plans. We silence that voice inside that keeps asking, is this it? Is this really all there is? We convince ourselves that everyone feels this way, that this restless, hollow feeling is just part of being an adult. And the worst part? We keep telling ourselves we'll deal with it later, after this project ends, after the kids grow up, after we save more money, after things calm down. But later never comes. The project ends and another begins. The kids grow but new problems arrive. And meanwhile, years pass. Real years, your years. The philosopher Socrates said that the unexamined life is not worth living, and he was right. But examining your life is terrifying because it means admitting things you've been pretending not to see. It means facing truths you've been avoiding. It means possibly having to change things that feel safe and familiar, even if they're slowly killing you inside. Most people never do it. They stay comfortable. They stay quiet. They keep pretending. And then decades pass, and they wake up one morning at 50 or 60 or 70, and the regret hits them like a freight train. All those years spent living small, all those dreams left unpursued, all those truths left unspoken. But you don't have to be most people. You're here right now, and that means something in you is ready. Ready to stop pretending, ready to stop settling, ready to ask the questions you've been avoiding. These 12 questions aren't the easy kind. They're not going to make you feel good. Some of them are going to sting. Some are going to make you defensive. Some might make you want to click away because they hit too close to home. But that's exactly why you need to hear them. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart and try to love the questions themselves." The questions I'm about to share with you aren't just words, they're mirrors. And what you see when you look into them will tell you everything you need to know about where you are and where you need to go. Your life right now is the result of every question you've asked or avoided asking. And your life 5 years from now will be shaped entirely by what you choose to face today. Before we dive in, hit the like button. Share this with someone who's been playing it safe for too long. Hit subscribe because we're not just sharing videos here, we're creating a space for people who are done pretending. Watch every question. If you're ready to stop running from the truth, declare it in the comments. Courage over comfort. Number 1. Am I living for myself or for everyone else's approval? Look at the choices you made this week, the job you showed up to, the things you said yes to even though you wanted to say no, the version of yourself you presented to the world, the dreams you kept quiet about because someone might think they're foolish. Now ask yourself, how many of those choices were truly yours? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. We claim to value ourselves, yet we build our entire lives around what others think. You stay in a career that's draining you because walking away would look like failure. You maintain relationships that feel empty because ending them would create gossip. You hide your real interests, your real opinions, your real self, because being authentic might mean being judged. Every Sunday night, that anxiety in your chest isn't about Monday morning. It's about spending another week pretending to be someone you're not. Every time you bite your tongue, every time you fake enthusiasm for things that bore you, every time you shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you, you're choosing approval over authenticity. Here's the brutal truth. Seeking approval is exhausting because it never ends. You please your parents, then your partner, then your boss, then your friends, then society. And when you finally get the approval you've been chasing, it doesn't feel like you thought it would. Because it's not your life they're approving of. It's the performance. It's the mask. It's the version of you that exists to make them comfortable. But building your life around approval means you never get to know who you really are. You spend decades performing, adjusting, conforming. You become an expert at reading rooms, at saying the right things, at being whoever you need to be. And somewhere along the way, the real you gets buried so deep you can't find it anymore. The cost isn't just your authenticity, it's your peace, it's your energy, it's your joy. Because living for approval means constantly monitoring yourself, editing yourself, second-guessing yourself. It means making decisions based on fear instead of desire. It means saying yes when everything inside you is screaming no. So ask yourself right now, whose approval am I living for? And is it worth the cost of never truly knowing myself? Is it worth spending your one life trying to be what everyone else wants, instead of discovering who you actually are? Number 2, what truth am I refusing to see? There's something you already know, something sitting quietly in the back of your mind, waiting for you to acknowledge it. You feel it in those quiet moments when the distractions fade. You sense it in your gut when you're making certain decisions. You hear it in that voice you keep trying to silence. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." But sometimes we suffer because we refuse to face reality at all. We build elaborate stories to avoid simple truths. We stay busy so we don't have to think. We numb ourselves so we don't have to feel. Maybe it's the truth about your relationship. The connection died months ago, maybe years ago, but you're both going through the motions. You're not partners anymore. You're roommates, you're companions. You're two people sharing space, but not sharing life. And admitting that means difficult conversations, uncertain futures, pain you're not ready to face. Maybe it's the truth about your health, the way you've been treating your body. The habits you know are destroying you slowly, but you keep telling yourself you'll change tomorrow. The warning signs you're ignoring because facing them means you'd actually have to do something about them. Maybe it's the truth about your work, that you're not just tired, that you're not just going through a rough patch, that this job is slowly killing something inside you, that you're staying because it's familiar, not because it's right, that every Sunday evening, that sick feeling in your stomach is your body trying to tell you something you don't want to hear. Or maybe it's the truth about yourself, about who you've become versus who you wanted to be, about the potential you're wasting, about the excuses you keep making, about the ways you're letting yourself down every single day. Avoiding the truth doesn't make it go away. It just makes it heavier. It shows up in your stress, your sleepless nights, your unexplained anxiety. It shows up in the relationships that keep failing in the same way. It shows up in the patterns you can't seem to break. Your body knows, your heart knows. The only one pretending not to know is your mind. Here's the thing about truth. Facing it might hurt, but living with the lie hurts more. It might be uncomfortable, but at least it's real. It might mean change, but at least you're moving forward instead of staying stuck in denial. You don't have to know what to do about it yet. You just have to stop pretending you don't see it. Stop lying to yourself. Stop making excuses. Just look at it, name it, acknowledge it. So ask yourself right now, what truth am I refusing to see? This is your moment of honesty. Show me you're brave enough by typing, "I face the truth." Number 3. Am I living in the past or building my future? Every day you make choices. Where to focus your energy, how to spend your time, which opportunities to pursue, which risks to take or avoid. But here's the question most people never ask. Are these choices based on where you want to go or on where you've been hurt before? Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But most people aren't reacting to what's happening now. They're still reacting to what happened 5, 10, 20 years ago. They're living in the present with eyes fixed firmly on the past. Think about your decisions. Are you avoiding certain types of relationships because someone broke your heart years ago? Are you playing it safe in your career because you failed once and never recovered from the shame? Are you keeping people at a distance because you learned early that trusting others leads to pain? Are you saying no to opportunities because someone once told you that you weren't good enough? These aren't conscious choices. They're automatic responses, old wounds dressed up as wisdom, past pain masquerading as protection. And the worst part is, you probably don't even realize you're doing it. These patterns feel natural, like personality traits. You're not scared, you're realistic. You're not stuck, you're stable. You're not closed off, you're careful. But here's the truth, the past only controls your future if you let it. That person who hurt you isn't in your life anymore, but you're still making decisions as if they are. That failure that crushed you is over, but you're still living like it's happening today. That rejection that made you feel small happened years ago, but you're still shrinking yourself to avoid feeling that way again. Your past happened. It shaped you. It taught you things. Some of those lessons were valuable. You learned to be stronger, more cautious, more aware. But some of those lessons are lies. Some of those protective mechanisms that helped you survive are now preventing you from truly living. Every moment you spend looking backward is a moment you're not moving forward. Every decision you make based on old pain is a decision that keeps you trapped in old patterns. Every opportunity you reject because of past failures is an opportunity to create a different future that you're throwing away. You get to decide right now. Are you going to keep letting your past write your future? Or are you going to pick up the pen and write something new? Because the past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Number 4. Who am I becoming? Right now, in this very moment, you are becoming someone. Not the person you were yesterday, not the person you hope to be someday, but the person your daily choices are actually creating. And here's the uncomfortable question. Is that person someone you'd respect if you met them? The poet Mary Oliver asked, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" But most of us are so caught up in the doing that we never stop to ask who we're becoming in the process. Look at how you spent the last week. Not how you wish you spent it. Not how you planned to spend it. How you actually spent it. Where did your time go? What did you prioritize? What did you say yes to? What did you avoid? Because those choices aren't neutral. They're shaping you, building you, creating the person you're becoming. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're becoming someone who shrinks from challenges. Every time you react with anger instead of patience, you're becoming someone whose first instinct is hostility. Every time you scroll instead of create, consume instead of contribute, complain instead of act, you're becoming someone you might not recognize in 5 years. Most people operate on autopilot. They react instead of respond. They follow patterns instead of making conscious choices. They do today what they did yesterday because it's easier than thinking about whether it's actually taking them where they want to go. And then one day they wake up and wonder how they became so different from who they wanted to be. They wonder when they became so cynical, so tired, so disconnected. They wonder when their dreams got so small. They wonder when they stopped trying. But it didn't happen in one day. It happened in 1,000 small choices, in 1,000 moments where they chose the easy path over the right one, in 1,000 instances where they compromised their values because it was convenient, in 1,000 times they said, just this once, until just this once became who they are. Here's the thing about becoming. It's happening whether you're paying attention or not. You're either becoming stronger or weaker, more patient or more reactive, more generous or more selfish, more open or more closed. There's no staying the same. You're always moving in one direction or another. So, look at your daily habits, your automatic reactions, your default choices. These aren't just things you do, they're who you're becoming. And if you don't like the direction you're heading, you have the power to change it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. With the very next choice you make, who are you becoming? And is that who you want to be? Let's build a community of conscious creators. Comment your commitment. I'm becoming my best self. Number 5. Am I truly living or just going through the motions? There's a difference between having a pulse and being truly alive. You can breathe, eat, work, sleep, repeat the cycle endlessly, and still feel like something essential is missing. You can be surviving but not thriving. You can be existing but not living. Henry David Thoreau saw this clearly when he wrote, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them." That was true in the 1850s, and it's even more true today. We've become experts at distraction, at numbing, at staying busy enough that we don't have to feel how empty we actually are. Living means feeling deeply. It means being present to both the joy and the pain. It means taking risks that make your heart race. It means creating, connecting, growing, discovering. Existing means going through the routine. Wake up, work, come home, distract yourself, sleep, repeat. Day after day, week after week, year after year. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not just happy or content, but alive. When was the last time you did something that scared you in a good way? When was the last time you learned something new just because it fascinated you? When was the last time you had a conversation that went deeper than small talk? When was the last time you created something just for the joy of creating? If you can't remember, or if it's been too long, you might be existing rather than living. And the scary part is how easy it is to slip into existence mode. Life gets busy. Responsibilities pile up. We tell ourselves we'll really start living once we finish this project, once the kids are older, once we retire, once we have more money. But that day keeps moving further away. Meanwhile, your life is happening right now. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you're ready. Right now. And every day you spend going through the motions is a day you can never get back. Living requires intention. It requires you to make conscious choices about how you spend your time and energy. It requires you to say no to things that drain you, and yes to things that fill you up, even when that's inconvenient. It requires you to stop sleepwalking through your days. You don't need permission to start living. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need more time or more money. You just need to decide that your life is worth more than a series of routines, that your days are worth more than just getting through them. So ask yourself, am I living or am I just going through the motions? Number 6. What am I tolerating that's slowly killing me? There are things in your life right now that are draining you, slowly, quietly, so gradually that you barely notice anymore. But they're there, pulling at your energy, dimming your light, making everything feel heavier than it should be. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But here's the problem. Most of us have given away that power by tolerating things we know we shouldn't. Maybe it's the clutter in your home that creates constant low-level chaos in your mind. Maybe it's the friend who only calls when they need something, but is never there when you do. Maybe it's the broken things you keep meaning to fix, but never do. Maybe it's the commitments you said yes to out of guilt that now fill your calendar with resentment. Maybe it's the way someone speaks to you that crosses a line, but you've never set a boundary. We tolerate these things for 1,000 reasons. We tell ourselves it's not that bad. We don't want to seem difficult or demanding. We're afraid of confrontation. We think we don't deserve better. We're too tired to deal with it. We hope it will somehow fix itself. But here's the truth. Everything you tolerate teaches the world what you're willing to accept. Every time you allow something that depletes you to continue, you're making a statement about your worth. You're saying, "This is what I deserve. This is all I can expect." Think about your energy like a bank account. Everything you tolerate is a withdrawal. Every unresolved issue, every toxic dynamic, every cluttered space, every unfulfilled promise. These withdrawals add up, and eventually you find yourself overdrawn, exhausted, with nothing left to give to the things and people that actually matter. The worst part is how normalized it becomes. You get so used to carrying this weight that you forget what it feels like to be light. You accept exhaustion as your baseline. You think everyone feels this drained, this heavy, this stuck. But they don't. Or at least, they don't have to. Deciding what you'll no longer tolerate isn't about being demanding or difficult. It's about being honest. It's about recognizing that your energy is precious and finite, and you get to choose where it goes. It's about understanding that saying no to what drains you is actually saying yes to what could fill you up. So, ask yourself right now, what am I tolerating that's slowly killing me? What needs to change? What conversations need to happen? What boundaries need to be set? What needs to be let go? Your life force is too valuable to waste on what doesn't deserve it. This is your line in the sand. Draw it by commenting, "No more tolerating." Number 7. What would I do if fear wasn't holding me back? Fear is the silent dictator of most people's lives. It sits in the background, whispering reasons why you can't, shouldn't, won't. And over time, those whispers become so familiar that you mistake them for your own voice, for common sense, for wisdom. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." But most of us spend our lives looking everywhere except at our fears. We pretend they don't exist, or we convince ourselves they're protecting us. Think about the decisions you've made in the last year. How many of them were based on excitement, possibility, and genuine desire? And how many were based on fear, safety, and avoiding discomfort? If you're honest, you'll probably realize that fear has been making your decisions far more often than you'd like to admit. What would you do if fear wasn't whispering in your ear? Would you start that business you've been dreaming about for years? Would you have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding? Would you move to the place that calls to your soul? Would you pursue the creative work that lights you up but doesn't guarantee a paycheck? Would you end the relationship that's comfortable but lifeless? Would you finally try the thing you've always wanted to try but kept telling yourself you're not ready for? Most of your fears aren't protecting you from real danger. They're protecting you from embarrassment, rejection, failure, judgment, uncertainty. They're keeping you in the familiar, even when the familiar is slowly suffocating you. And here's the cruel irony. The things we fear most often aren't nearly as painful as the regret of never trying. Fear tells you you're not ready, not qualified, not worthy. Fear says wait until you have more money, more time, more certainty. Fear promises that someday conditions will be perfect, and then you can finally take that leap. But that day never comes. Fear will always find a new reason to wait. Living without fear doesn't mean becoming reckless. It means not letting fear make your decisions for you. It means acknowledging fear's presence, but refusing to give it veto power over your life. It means understanding that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. Every day you let fear decide for you is a day you're not really living. It's a day you're playing it safe, staying small, choosing security over significance. And those days add up to a life of what-ifs and if-onlys. So ask yourself, what would I do if fear wasn't holding me back? And then ask yourself the harder question, why am I letting it? Number 8. What am I waiting for permission to do? We spend so much of our lives waiting. Waiting for someone to tell us we're ready. Waiting for someone to say we're good enough. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for permission that's never going to come because no one else can give us permission to live our own lives. The artist Pablo Picasso understood this when he said, "Action is the foundational key to all success. Not perfect planning, not waiting until you feel ready. Action." But most of us have been trained since childhood to wait for permission. Raise your hand and wait to be called on. Ask before you speak. Get approval before you proceed. And somewhere along the way, we internalized this. We started believing we need someone else's blessing to pursue what matters to us. We need our parents' approval to choose an unconventional path. We need our partner's permission to invest in ourselves. We need our boss's validation to feel confident in our abilities. We need society's acceptance to live authentically. But here's the truth, nobody tells you. The permission you're waiting for doesn't exist. There's no authority figure who's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, "You're ready now, go ahead and live your life." There's no certificate of worthiness, no stamp of approval, no green light from the universe. What are you waiting for permission to do? To start that creative project, to set boundaries with toxic people, to change careers, to take care of your health, to prioritize your happiness, to ask for what you need, to walk away from what's not working, to be yourself without apology. Think about how much time you've lost waiting. How many opportunities passed by while you stood at the threshold, hoping someone would invite you in? How many dreams faded while you waited to feel ready enough, qualified enough, worthy enough? The waiting is costing you your life. Every day you spend seeking permission from others is a day you're not trusting yourself. Every moment you delay because you're looking for validation is a moment you're giving your power away. Here's the thing, you are the authority on your own life. You are the only one who knows what your soul needs. You are the only one who truly understands what makes you come alive. And you don't need to be perfect, fearless, or fully prepared. You just need to start. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay. Stop seeking approval for decisions that are yours alone to make. Stop looking outside yourself for permission to live the life that's already yours. The only permission you need is your own, and you can give it to yourself right now in this moment. So give it, and then act on it. Number 9. Am I connecting or just collecting people? Look at your phone. Look at all those contacts, all those followers, all those connections. Now ask yourself, how many of those people actually know you? The real you, not the curated version you present to the world, but the person you are when nobody's watching. The poet Rumi wrote, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." But somehow, in our rush to connect with everyone, we've lost the ability to truly connect with anyone. We collect people like we collect things, measuring our worth by quantity instead of quality. We have hundreds of friends online but feel lonely in a crowded room. We're constantly communicating but rarely saying anything real. We're sharing our lives but hiding ourselves. We're building networks but not relationships. We're surrounding ourselves with people but still feeling isolated. When was the last time you had a conversation that went deeper than surface pleasantries? When was the last time you shared something vulnerable and true? When was the last time you let someone see the parts of you that aren't polished and perfect? When was the last time you listened to someone, really listened, without thinking about what you were going to say next? Real connection requires risk. It requires you to show up as you are, not as you think you should be. It requires honesty, vulnerability, presence. It means being willing to be seen, to be misunderstood, to be rejected. And that's scary. So instead, we keep things light, surface level, safe. But here's what safe connections give you: nothing that matters. You can have 1,000 superficial relationships and still feel completely alone. You can be surrounded by people and still carry your pain in silence. You can be constantly busy with social obligations and still be starving for genuine human connection. The truth is, one real connection is worth 100 shallow ones. One person who truly sees you is worth more than 1,000 followers who only see your highlight reel. One conversation that touches your soul is worth more than endless small talk that fills time but leaves you empty. Building real connections means being selective. It means investing deeply instead of spreading yourself thin. It means quality over quantity. It means showing up authentically even when it's uncomfortable. It means letting people in, not just letting them follow. So ask yourself, am I connecting with people or just collecting them? Am I building relationships that nourish my soul, or am I just accumulating contacts? Am I known, or am I just known of? Because at the end of your life, it won't matter how many people you knew. It will matter how deeply you were known. Number 10. What legacy am I creating right now? We think about legacy as something that happens at the end of life, something carved on a tombstone or mentioned in a eulogy. But the truth is, you're creating your legacy right now, today, in this moment, with every choice you make, every word you speak, every action you take. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." He understood that legacy isn't just what we leave behind when we die. It's what we leave behind every single day in the hearts and minds of the people we encounter. Think about yesterday. What legacy did you create? Did you leave people feeling better or worse after interacting with you? Did you contribute something meaningful or just consume? Did you move closer to the person you want to be or further away? Did you invest your time in what truly matters or waste it on what doesn't? Most people live as if they have unlimited time to start creating the legacy they want. They'll be kinder later. They'll pursue their purpose eventually. They'll become the person they admire someday, but later never comes. Eventually turns into never. Someday remains forever out of reach. Your legacy isn't just the big moments, the grand gestures, the major accomplishments. It's built in the small, ordinary moments that fill your days. It's how you treat the server at the restaurant. It's whether you keep your promises to your children. It's if you create more than you criticize. It's the patience you show when you're frustrated. It's the integrity you maintain when no one's watching. Every day you're teaching the people around you what's important. Your children are watching how you handle stress, how you treat others, how you respond to failure. Your co-workers are noticing whether your words match your actions. Your friends are seeing whether you show up when it's inconvenient. Your community is observing whether you contribute or just take. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're not intentional about your legacy, you're still creating one. But it might not be the one you want. Your absence can be a legacy. Your silence can be a legacy. Your indifference can be a legacy. The question isn't whether you're creating a legacy. The question is what kind of legacy you're creating. Look at your daily choices, your calendar, your priorities, your responses, your contributions. These aren't just habits, they're the building blocks of your legacy. And if you don't like what you're building, you have the power to change it, starting today. Because legacy isn't about what you're going to do, it's about what you're doing. And what you're doing right now is writing the story people will tell about you long after you're gone. Your legacy starts with this comment: write it into existence. My actions create my legacy. Number 11. What would I regret not doing? Bronnie Ware spent years working in palliative care, sitting with people in the final weeks of their lives. She documented their most common regrets and found something striking. Not a single person regretted taking too many risks. Not one person wished they had worked more or played it safer. Their regrets were about the things they didn't do, the chances they didn't take, the life they didn't live. This is the haunting truth about regret. It's not usually about our failures. It's about our failures to try. It's about the conversations we didn't have, the love we didn't express, the dreams we didn't chase, the person we didn't become because we were too afraid, too careful, too concerned about looking foolish. What's on your list right now? What have you been putting off, convincing yourself you'll get to it eventually? What relationship needs healing but you keep waiting for the other person to make the first move? What creative work lives inside you that you're too scared to share? What trip have you been talking about for years but never booking? What skill do you want to learn but keep telling yourself you're too old for? Time has a way of making decisions for us. If you wait long enough, opportunities close, people pass away, your body becomes less capable, doors that were once open become locked, and then you're left not with possibilities, but with the ghost of what could have been. Here's what you need to hear. You're going to regret the things you don't do far more than the things you do. Even if you try and fail, at least you'll know. At least you'll have the peace of having been brave enough to attempt it. But not trying, that regret lives forever. It sits in your chest, heavy and permanent, whispering "what if" for the rest of your life. The poet T.S. Eliot wrote, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go." But most people never find out. They play it safe, stay comfortable, avoid risk. And then one day, they realize they've spent their entire lives on the shore, watching others sail away, wondering what it would have been like to explore. So ask yourself right now, with brutal honesty, what would I regret not doing? Write it down, look at it, feel the weight of that potential regret, and then make a plan to do it. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, soon, now, before time runs out and regret becomes your constant companion. Because the only thing worse than failure is wondering what would have happened if you had tried. Let regret know it has no place in your life. Comment your promise. Action over regret. Number 12. If this were my last day, would I be proud of how I lived it? This isn't meant to be morbid. It's meant to wake you up. Because we all know, intellectually, that life is finite. We all know we're going to die someday, but we live as if we have forever. We postpone, we procrastinate, We save our best for later. We treat today as a dress rehearsal for some future moment when we'll finally really start living. Seneca warned us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. We treat our days as if they're infinite, spending them carelessly, letting them slip through our fingers while we're distracted, numb, or simply not paying attention. So, imagine it's your last day, not in some distant, abstract future, but today, this day, right now. Would you be proud of how you spent it? Would you be proud of the person you were? Would you feel complete, or would you be scrambling, desperately wishing you had more time to fix things, say things, do things? This question cuts through all your excuses. It doesn't care about your 5-year plan or your someday dreams. It asks you to account for today. Did you tell the people you love that you love them? Did you do work that mattered to you? Did you show up as your best self? Did you waste hours on things that don't matter? Or did you invest your time in what's truly important? Most people live with the illusion that they'll have time later to become who they want to be, to repair broken relationships, to pursue meaningful work, to live with intention. But what if later never comes? What if this is it? What if the life you have right now is the only one you get? This isn't about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes or always getting it right. It's about being present. It's about being intentional. It's about living each day in a way that, if it were your last, you could look back without drowning in regret. You don't know how many days you have left. None of us do. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to free you. Free you to stop waiting. Free you to stop pretending you have unlimited time. Free you to start living like your life actually matters, because it does. And so does today. This day, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when things settle down or when you're ready. Now. So, ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be proud of how I lived it? And if the answer is no, what are you going to do about it? Warriors, these 12 questions aren't comfortable. They weren't meant to be. Comfort is what got most of us stuck in lives we don't fully recognize as our own. These questions are designed to shake you awake, to crack open the shell you've built around your heart, to remind you that you're alive and your life is happening right now. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard wrote, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. You can't go back and change the years you've lost, the chances you didn't take, the person you weren't brave enough to be. But you can change what happens next." These questions aren't meant to be answered once and forgotten. They're meant to be revisited, reconsidered, lived with. They're meant to become part of how you navigate your life. Because the person who asks these questions regularly is the person who doesn't wake up at 50, 60, or 70 filled with regret. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to fix everything today. But you do have to start. You have to begin the honest examination of your life. You have to be willing to see what you've been avoiding. You have to choose courage over comfort. Your life is too precious to live on autopilot. Your time is too valuable to waste on what doesn't matter. Your heart is too important to keep locked away. The world needs what only you can give, but you have to be brave enough to give it. So don't wait. Don't wait until you're ready, until conditions are perfect, until you feel more confident. Start today. Ask yourself these questions, answer them honestly, and then act on what you discover. Your most authentic, fulfilled, meaningful life is waiting for you on the other side of these questions. Now, if this video moved something in you, hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing which question hit you hardest, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel for more content that challenges you to live more fully. The life you're meant to live is calling. Will you answer? This is more than a video, it's a turning point. Mark this moment by commenting, "I answer the call."